Well, Gaffer, that was 0-0 until the 94th, and then we got a winner right at the death. How are you feeling after that one?
Exhausted, I think. Really frustrating game. I think it was. I know that the supporters will see how bad the conditions were, but until you actually get on the pitch, you don't realise how strong that wind was today. Even there's wind on the floor somehow. So even the boys were saying we can't pass it, we can't dribble with it. We didn't want to go long because, as you could see, the ball was coming straight back. So we were trying to find solutions, and it was just really frustrating. I think they came with a game plan to obviously slow the game down, and they would have been happy with a point. And I think they did that really well. You have to give credit to them. They managed the game really well. And the longer it went on, the more frustrating it was getting. And I won't lie to you, there was I think it was about 1 minute before George had put it in the net. I was going to take him off and throw Big Moose on up top and gamble. But that's why you keep him on the pitch, because that's what he does. That's why he's one of the best finishers in the league, if not the best finisher in this league and the one above. So great win, great 3 points. And I thought overall the lads deserved it just for sticking to the way we do things and continuing believing that it was going to come, and it did.
And in those kinds of games where it sort of looks like, everything's against you, it's this massive mountain to climb. When we do get that goal and get over the line in the last minute, in a game where nobody would have begrudged us for not getting over that line, is that the sort of quality you think shows that we really mean business in this division?
I think the big thing in them games, and just said to the boys there, is, and I've said it a lot over recent weeks, that's the mentality that gets you success, because we had enough balls in good areas first half, and we didn't, whether it was a lack of quality of the pass, whether it was the run weren't right, there was a lot of balls that went across the face of the goal, final pass weren't quite there. So it is one of them days where you're thinking, all right, then conditions are really bad, both teams, games one of the worst I've ever been involved in terms of any flow to it, really tough one for the referee to manage. You're thinking, well, if you take a point, you take a point, and the difference in that mentality to the Chippenham mentality is that gets you success, and the Chippenham one is what we don't want to be, and I'm hoping we've learnt from that, because if you can't win it, you stay in the game till the last seconds to give yourself an opportunity, because we know if we can stay in the game till 96, 7, 8 minutes, we've got players on the pitch that can add that bit of quality, and that's my pleasing thing from today. The mentality of that group, subs that came on were tremendous. The mentality was we are not coming out of here without a victory, and I'm buzzing for the boys tonight.
And you mentioned a real change in mentality between that Chippenham game and now. One obvious personnel difference is the return of Brad Barry into the starting lineup. Do you think his leadership is something that takes us to that next level?
I think he adds a grit and a desire. Look, we've got a couple of injuries in that back line at the minute, and Birdie was suspended today, so Brad's not trained. He's been out for a while with his groin. He's not even trained. He's been doing his rehab. He's worked so hard, and he puts himself forward today to get through the battle for us. So he brings that desire and that hunger to step over the line when he's needed and stand up. And I think for everybody, not just the players, I think for the staff, it gives you that little extra edge when you know you go into war with a skipper like that. So his performance today was outstanding. He drove us forward at every opportunity.
And just finally, you mentioned how bad the conditions were for the players, but also the fans stood in the cold, in the rain, and cheered us on. How important is it that we sent them home with 3 points?
I think it was big today, because in them games that they're not pretty, especially living down here, we know sometimes we're going to get this kind of weather, and I was so happy with the numbers that came out today and braved that weather, and they didn't stop. Again, they didn't stop. You've seen at the end of the game there the joy they had for the lads coming off the pitch, and that's what we're about. It ain't always going to be sunshine and rainbows. We're going into that stage of the season now where if we have to get gritty and we have to get dirty and do the horrible stuff, we've got the ingredients to do that, and that's the same with our supporters. If we have to grind it out as a group of people, players and supporters, I know we're willing to do that, because we went through a hell of a battle last season and came out the other side, and this is it's exactly the same.